Make sure everything
They do
is.
have a lot of options for that now. I was noticing that the other day, you could be down here and it could be to the right or up above or yeah.
Hmm. Hi, Andre.
Hi.
And we'll record this to the cloud. Okay. So now we're officially recording on Zoom. Happy Wednesday and welcome to AI Smart Labs. We're going to go over some news today, and there is so much going on that's fun. There are a ton of experiments that we have been doing for ourselves and for clients that are also very fun, that we'll be talking about later when it comes to voice and calendars and just some of the new opportunities that are out there. Um, so first of all, Adobe, which is anybody who grew up doing graphic design, like professionally grew up. I would say Andrea and I definitely did. I used Adobe products back in 1996. So it has been maybe 95. So we're talking 30 years of using Adobe. I mean, it's crazy that it's been around that long. It doesn't seem possible, but it has, and it's always been the trusted resource for designers that has the best professional quality editors, whether it is video or images. And back in the day, it was even game design. I designed basic games in university using Adobe products too. This was so long ago. And we did layouts for magazines. And I even did the manual layouts for newspapers back then too at school. Um, and so I've always had this affinity for Adobe, and it's been exciting to see their AI evolution. And they have just announced a team up with Google Cloud, and this isn't available for everybody yet. The Firefly Foundry is pairing with Google Cloud in a deeper integration. And what this means for creatives is now that companies can build their own private brand tuned AI models. So you can tune an AI model on all of your images and then use Gemini, Veo, and Imagine directly in Adobe's Creative Suite. So now you can own your creative outputs. And if you have a creative department, if you're a creative agency, this is something that you'll want to pay attention to because AI has had, it's had more success in the text version of training and getting good outputs. And now this is going to allow you to train on all of your visual content as well. I think, and as much as I hate the term game changer, because I hear it all the time on I would say this is a game changer for any creative companies. This will be the first mass available visual model training that you can do. And it's a combination of Google Cloud and Adobe. This is something that as soon as we have access, we'll definitely be testing it out. We've got clients that could use this as well because they want a model trained on their creative. I'm not sure what the costing of this is going to be like, but as soon as we get access, we'll let you know. We'll let you know how it goes. We have relationships with a lot of agency friends, and I think this is going to be huge for them because I do know some agencies have invested heavily in developing their own AI models in their own hosted servers that are trained on the visuals for brands. And now, if you can do that in your Google Cloud and use Adobe, it's going to be easier and the barrier to entry is going to be lower. So, any big companies should be considering this, looking at it for their brand, and then any agencies this is definitely something to keep an eye on because it could make your content creation world so much easier. Videos and images for everything that you use it for. So we're keeping an eye on Foundry. They will likely be piloting 2026. Of course, the big brands are going to get access first, and we'll keep you posted on that. Microsoft 365 Copilot, they rolled out agency mode um, across the suite, their entire suite. So now there are agents that are inside all of the tools. And They say all of them, but I'm guessing it depends on your occurrence of Microsoft 365, how much you're paying for it. I'm sure that they'll be starting with enterprises and government, like the large organizations first, because they tend to roll out these to the different account types independently. So you'll see this coming out where you have agents inside of Excel and agents inside of your documents, inside of everything. And these agents can execute multi-step workflows. And I was just in a conversation with somebody about financial data analysis. Now you could create an agent that is inside your Excel, presumably, and that could analyze your documents right there with you, with its special instructions. Now, from Microsoft, we've seen the overpromise, underdeliver before, and we will be also testing this. We have a lot of clients that are on Microsoft, and we'll be hands-on testing it with them to see how much we can actually do. I have an AI playlist of all the things that Microsoft 365 claimed back in 2023 in September, and all of those things are still not possible. You know, some are possible. So this is a really good idea, and we don't know how the actual rollout of it is going to be in each person's account, what you'll have access to, and how well it's going to work. This is something else that we will follow up with you on. And I'm guessing we'll probably do a workshop or two. We're getting more and more people on Microsoft and more using Copilot because it's essentially free for all accounts now. And then, you know, this may be something that you would need to pay for. We'll see if it rolls out free to everybody who has 365 accounts too. And then GE Healthcare is partnering with Duke and Queen's universities for AI-powered operations. And GE Healthcare is working on Care Intellect, which is their AI platform that's focused on operational efficiency and patient throughput to improve revenue cycles. But patient throughput is basically when a patient enters and exits the system. And we want that process, they want that process to be efficient, accurate, and improved. And whoever has experienced any healthcare systems lately probably knows there are long lines, slow results. There's a lot of room for improvement. I'm in Canada and I'm American, and I've been to US systems recently and Canadian, and I can tell you there's a lot of room for improvement from the experiences that I've had. Very excited to see the healthcare system get more efficient because it's such a big cost for people. And if these costs can get reduced, hopefully insurance can get reduced, and what comes out of people's pockets can also be reduced. That's what I'm excited for. And also more accuracy and better care. And there is another research project that's happening for more efficient AI hardware. And there's an article on this about this is one of the issues is AI is more powerful than most hardware can handle right now. And so there's this little tech gap where we need to have better AI hardware to actualize what AI can do. And NVIDIA is the company that's produced the most chips, and there are others that are working on that. And one of the issues is, as it states in this article, is the power consumption for AI workloads. So that means every time you prompt AI, it has to work, it has to think, it consumes power for the work that you're asking it to do. And there are these processing engines that are trying to handle the power consumption more efficiently so that we can do all the queries we want to. It will use less power and have a lower environmental impact or lower negative environmental impact, because we know this uses power, this pollutes because it heats up everything around it, these big data centers that are processing all of our AI queries. And there is a conversation starting around ESG and AI efficiency and what you are doing to be responsible with your AI use when it comes to environmental impact. This is something that especially B Corps and environmental, uh, companies that have that environmental statement, that they will start to be responsible for how they're using AI and how they're using it in a responsible way when it comes to energy consumption. So this is an important area to pay attention to because of the environmental impact, and we want to promote anything that's going to help us have consume less power in what we're doing with AI, because AI is not going anywhere. Some of you, I'm not sure if anybody's seen this one yet. I love it. AI helped a family dramatically cut their US hospital bill. Now, there are a lot of people that are going to be watching this and reading this that don't have to deal with the US medical system, but anybody who ever has, you can get these very, very large hospital bills if you're underinsured or if you don't have insurance. They've got a 195,000 hospital bill, 195,000 US dollar hospital bill for 4 hours of intensive care. They used Claude, and Claude helped to identify duplicate charges, improper coding, and other billing violations. And they were able to get that $195,000 hospital bill down to $33,000. That's a huge, huge reduction. And this is a creative use of AI. So, and this is what happens when somebody has the AI mindset. And we talk about this a lot, is how can AI help me with this? So this family is facing $195,000 in hospital bills and just starts to have a conversation to figure out how AI can help with it. And now they're down to $33,000, which is still crazy for 4 hours of intensive care. And it's significantly lower and more manageable because the average person cannot pay a $195,000 bill from the hospital. And with AI, so many things are possible. I love this use case. It's heartwarming and it shows what that AI mindset can do for you. And now to the legal portion of our news. Federal court allowed this key copyright case against OpenAI to proceed. And the decision, there are a lot of these copyright cases happening right now. And this federal court decision, this is about the author's copyright lawsuit in OpenAI, and it's moving forward. And in this one, it's claiming that there's copyright infringement in the AI outputs. So that means AI has read somebody's book or read somebody's articles when they didn't have the author's consent or the publisher's consent. And then AI is using it to inform the outputs or even directly quoting from it in the outputs. And so we'll see where this goes. The FTC is also, which is Federal Trade Commission, and they are also involved in a lot of legal issues right now with AI making false or misleading marketing claims. Now, we have clients that are in finance and some regulated industries that work, whether it's medicine, biotech, those sort of things. And those are all regulated industries. So the FTC is taking special care and attention to watch what's happening with the outputs of these companies. And that can come across in social media, website, and it can be ads or general content. And you have to be very, very careful about the claims that you make in marketing. And it has to be FDA approved. If you say like, this drug is going to make you lose this much weight, that would have to be proven, and you would have to have the FDA approval to make that claim. And then for financial, you're not supposed to give any advice. And this is something where AI can make claims, or It can give advice about something and without the disclaimer of, hey, I'm not a financial planning expert, but there are some of those concerns. So if you are in a regulated industry, you really, really need to double check all of your outputs and make sure that you are not in violation. You will have your accounts potentially shut down by Google, so you're not going to be seen anymore, potentially also dismissed by ChatGPT. And if you're running ads, whether it's Meta or Google, you could have trouble with those also. So you really have to watch your outputs and make sure that you are abiding by the FTC regulations. And recommended tools this week. Now we get to the fun stuff. Pictory AI. Pictory is one where you can make videos. You could take social media posts. You can make blog posts. You could have a blog post and just put the link into Pictory and it'll make a video from your blog post. You can edit the images. You can edit you can do voiceover. You could do AI voiceover, human voiceover. You can do music if you want. And it's all really simple and intuitive. I'm not a video editor and I can go onto Pictory and make great videos with B-roll if I need to. Sometimes I do it for promotional purposes because when I'm speaking at an event, they will want to promote the event and they ask for a video. And I can make something that looks amazing in Pictory. When if it was just up to me, it would be just me talking into my phone. Jasper is what we use for most of our content. Jasper acts like a private RAG for us and also for our clients. We can put all of our brand information, all of our product knowledge in there, and it references that for the outputs. And we like Jasper because it can contain our voice. It's also trained on marketing type content and methodologies. And we can create our own custom apps in there, which are kind of like agents or custom GPTs that allow us to produce really high quality content that sounds like us. And if we do it for our clients, it sounds like our clients. It can be highly technical and it's the best quality of outputs of content when we compare across all the different models. Read AI is what we are recording this meeting with. We love to use Read for these meetings. And then we also use the content for producing blog posts, social media posts. And if you are using a note taker, think about all the ways that you can use that content. We try to leverage all of our recorded content as much as possible for improving our FAQs and also doing blog posts, putting things out on social media. So think about that when you're having a meeting and you're recording it. What do you do with the recordings afterwards? And then we have instructions on here how to make a website in about 5 minutes or less using Gamma. Yes, you'll want to do some editing, but you could also just do it in 5 minutes. I won't go through all the instructions. That wraps up the news, 2:22 p.m. I'd say that's a good number to end on. And we are going to get into experimenting with Gemini and calendaring and using Gemini to put items on your calendar or to analyze how you're spending your time. So if you're in a Google workspace, this is handy. I'm guessing you could probably do the same thing over in